So we discussed up to the forward pass in the neural network. Today we'll continue with the backward pass. Okay. And first of all, we will take a small, we will spend a few minutes with the question and answering. Okay. So what is a neural network? Can someone unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat? What is neural network? What does it consist of? What does it consist of? What is neural network? What problem we can solve with neural network? Yes, you are correct, right? Correct, right? What else? Okay, I'm reading, I can read the answer from Soundarya. Very good. So neural network is a computational model using which we can solve the classification regression problem. Okay. But you can solve the regression as well as the classification problem using support vector machine, random forest, gradient boosted machine. Then what is so special about neural network? Why did they come up with something called neural network? Excellent, Swarna and Deepika, you are correct, right? So they want to mimic the human brain, how the human brain works, right? Similarly, they want the algorithm to mimic the human brain. Okay, so they want to invent an algorithm which mimic the human brain. So if I give the brain to the system like car, we don't need a driver. The car can drive on its own safely to the destination. How safely it can drive to the destination? Because it has a brain, when to stop, when to slow down the car, when it has to take the diversion, when it has to move slowly, when it has to drive fast, right? So like a driver, human, the system now started thinking on its own. Yes, Deepika. Okay, it consists of interconnected nodes like input layer and output layer. Very good, right? So input layer, output layer, and hidden layers. Very good. Okay, what is feed forward process in neural network? What is feed forward process in neural network? Yes. Very good. So I can see a lot of response. So so in the feed process forward is nothing but the input layer. All the values from the input layer is passed to the subsequent layers. And every neuron is very good, Deepika. Every neuron is connected to every other neuron in the neural network. That is correct. The values are from the input neuron, right? The input layer, all the neurons' values will be passed in one direction. So it is passed to the hidden layer neurons, and then hidden layer neurons values will be passed back. In the hidden layer, it performs some kind of process, and then it emits the output value down to the output layer. Since the values are passing from input to output layer via the hidden layer, it is a feed forward thing. Okay. So what are the activation functions that are available in neural network? What are the activations functions that are available in neural network? Very good. Superb. Sigmoid, tanh, ReLU, parametric ReLU. Okay. I discussed about the softmax. Softmax, that is very important. Yes, tanh, yeah, leaky ReLU. Very good. So these are the things we discussed. Very good. So what is the role of activation functions? So you told me, you typed it in the chat window that I could see that these are the list of activation functions that I taught you. You typed the same thing. Very good. See, what is the purpose of activation functions? What is the role of activation neural network? It introduces the non-linearity to the network, which means it allows the neural network to learn from complex patterns. Okay, complex pattern. Each activation function, right, it serves to introduce non-linearity to different extents. Okay. Okay, next one is yeah, what is the difference between supervised and unsupervised machine learning? This is a common question. What is the difference between the supervised and unsupervised learning? Excellent. The model is trained on a labeled data set. In the case of supervised, very good. See, in the case of unsupervised, training the model on the unlabeled data set. You train your model with the labeled data set, that is called supervised. If you don't train your model with the, or if you train your model with unlabeled data set, that is called your unsupervised machine learning. Okay. And what is the formula for sigmoid activation function? What is the formula for sigmoid activation function? We discussed yesterday only, right? What is the formula for sigmoid activation function? See, the reason why we are conducting weekends, right? You have sufficient time to review it. If I conduct it on a daily basis, you will not be able to, go through each and every day because the majority are all working, right? Yes, yes, you are correct. 1 divided by 1 plus e to the power minus z. So why this sigmoid function is used? What is the purpose of this one? Yes, it squashes the input values to a range between 0 and 1. Excellent. What is the formula for ReLU? We discussed about ReLU, right? ReLU formula. No, rectified linear unit activation function. What is the formula for that? What value it can take it? F of x equal to max of 0, comma x. Very good. What value ReLU can take? What value the sigmoid function can take? Sigmoid function takes the value between 0 and 1. Excellent. ReLU? Yes, very good. 0 to plus infinity. Excellent, Soundarya, Swarna, and Praveen and Deepika. You are correct. And how about leaky ReLU and parametric ReLU? What value it can take? Both of them, excellent. Both of them takes value anywhere between minus infinity to plus infinity. Then what is the difference between leaky ReLU and parametric ReLU? To overcome the downside of the ReLU, they introduced leaky ReLU, but leaky ReLU, though it draws a slope, right, negative slope, it is not optimal. Excellent answer, Praveen. Okay. So in the case of parametric ReLU, it finds out the optimal slope. That is the difference. And both of them takes the values anywhere between minus infinity to plus infinity. Excellent. So what is the issue if the ReLU activation function takes 0 to infinity? Let it be 0 to infinity, right? So what is going to cause the problem? So if the model, excellent, right? So, okay, 1 second. What is the answer you give? Raja, you are partially correct. Soundarya, you are excellent. Okay. The models, so if you use the ReLU activation function, it decreases the model ability to learn, right? Especially if the values are less than 0, right? If it converts any value less than 0 as 0, it will decrease the model ability to learn the patterns, right? So for that reason, they introduced the leaky ReLU. Since leaky ReLU is also has its own disadvantages, they came up with something parametric ReLU. See, okay, what is non-linearity? It's a question from Soumya. See, the whole idea of non-linearity, right? So the non-linearity, so this activation function, non-linear activation function, right? The sigmoid, tan H, ReLU and all. The idea of this one is to learn the patterns from the complex data. Okay, for that reason, see, the purpose of the nonlinearity is to allow the neural network to learn the complex relationship in the data rather than going with a simple linear relationship. Not all the time the relationships are simple, right? If it is a non-linear, that kind of situation, these activation functions are really helpful. Okay, to learn the complex relationship in the data. No, we need to use in the non-linearity related activation functions. All right, so we are done. Good that most of you are doing good job, but still I'm worried. There is no response from other people. Please.